Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to talk about a project that I feel has an incredibly high potential to pump, and this project is definitely going under the radar, and that's something that I felt like I have to bring it to you guys because again, I have invested in this project and I believe that this project has some really cool features that will make it pump super hard, not only in this bull market but also as a long-term player as well, right? And this project is called P Network or PNT. Again, as always, guys, I highly recommend you guys to do your own research on any of the projects that we cover on our channel. For this project, I suggest you to go to the website p.network in order to learn more about the project, right? So, what is P network? So, P network is basically what they're saying is introducing the P network, the heartbeat of cross-chain composability, right? So, this is a project that aims to make any asset, any cryptocurrency asset, be composable in multiple different chains, which means they're allowing for different tokens which may not be compatible in a particular blockchain or numerous blockchains. They're trying to make those tokens compatible with one or many different blockchains, right? Again, if you guys take, let's say, for example, certain tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, right? They are available. There are a very few number of Ethereum-based projects, that are that have migrated to Binance Smart Chain, and there are a very few number of Ethereum projects that have migrated to the Polygon network, but there is not a lot of other blockchains. Let's say, for example, when it comes to projects on Avalanche or projects on Binance Smart Chain, they are not available on the Ethereum blockchain or they are not available on other blockchains, and therefore it creates this issue where if you buy a token on Binance Smart Chain, you may not necessarily be able to use it outside of the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem, right? Maybe you may be able to use a lot of tokens that you have purchased from the Ethereum network on several different blockchains, but you may not necessarily be able to do that in the Ethereum blockchain, right? So as you can see, there is a lot of isolated there are tokens that are isolated within their own blockchains or within a few blockchains, but not all the blockchains. But Pi network or P network is basically trying to address this one by creating cross-chain composability and making it possible for different tokens to be functioning and running on different blockchains, right? So again, when I read through their website, I was able to find information, but for the purpose of this video, I want to share their frequently asked questions, which provides some really cool in-depth information, and that's something that I'm going to use for the purpose of the video. So if you guys want to access their frequently asked questions, you can go to their website and kind of like scroll down and you'll be able to find the FAQ section, right? So what are P tokens? P tokens are a tool enabling cross-chain composability. It is an essential component enabling decentralized decentralized financial dApps to be compatible with any crypto assets. So again, P Network's main focus is to make certain cryptocurrencies or tokens compatible with different blockchains in decentralized financial dApps, right? So that's pretty much it. And the P tokens technology was designed to overcome the inherent walled garden limitation of blockchain protocols. Again, if you see, there are, as I mentioned, there are siloed projects with their own tokens that are not really usable in other blockchains, and P network basically tries to overcome this walled garden, right? The world of open finance grows larger and more sophisticated by the day, yet this decentralized economy still suffers from a major drawback: a lack of cross-chain interoperability. Again, it is mainly addressing cross-chain interoperability related issues for several different popular DeFi tokens, right? In an ideal DeFi system, cryptocurrencies will move freely and seamlessly between exchanges, dApps, and wallets. P tokens aim to solve the liquidity and interoperability riddle, a technology to connect any token with any blockchain. Again, very well said. They basically identify this issue that's currently existing right now, and they want to basically take advantage of this problem and try to find a solution, thereby making tokens interoperable. It's not just the blockchains that will be interoperable in the future. Projects like P network aims to make even tokens interoperable with each other, right? So again, they have a very nice pictorial representation of how the problem that currently exists is manifesting. And again, there's kind of this imaginary wall that's kind of like preventing two different assets from one blockchain kind of like entering into the other blockchain. But the solution is basically presented below as a kind of like a bridge kind of like network that's being created by P network that enables one token to interact with blockchain of another token, with blockchain from another platform, right? So that's pretty cool. If you see what is the purpose of P tokens, each blockchain is confined to its own technological boundaries. As a direct consequence, liquidity is locked within its ecosystem. Liquidity is largely spread across a large number of blockchain platforms and difficult to merge into a single pool. For this reason, it becomes essential to create solutions that allow effective cross-chain composability for dApps and to access any assets. Again, they're basically going a little bit more into the detailed issues of the problem that we currently discussed. They're trying to kind of like use as much as much information that they can provide in order to ensure that people understand what their project is. And although it may kind of be repetitive in many cases, it's still good to go through the FAQ section, right? P tokens enable cross-chain composability effectively. They are an essential component for DeFi dApps to be compatible with any crypto asset and for liquidity to move seamlessly between one blockchain to another. Again, if you take any blockchain, they have their own liquidity provisions, which is again locked in silos, and it's not available to be interoperable. But P network tries to solve this by enabling tokens to kind of like be accessible to multiple different blockchains. Thereby, the liquidity of those tokens are also available for multiple different blockchains in order to make the decentralized finance ecosystem much more convenient, right? So how do I benefit from P tokens? Users can maintain their stake in a cryptocurrency or digital asset of their choice while being able to leverage the decentralized financial system regardless of the blockchain it lives in. So again, what they're trying to say is overall, they're basically trying to state that if you have a particular token, you can maintain the stake of that particular token or a digital asset while being able to leverage the decentralized financial ecosystem that's basically outside of this blockchain, right? Some of the examples are being given here. So if you see, decentralized lending platforms are one of the most extensively used DeFi applications, offering instant access to markets for a large number of users. Their action is made effective thanks to the integration with other financial tools, including stablecoins, collateral-backed cryptocurrencies such as DAI, and interest splitting tools. However, decentralized lending platforms are limited to the native assets of the blockchain they are built on. Today, this means mostly ETH and ERC20 tokens. As a consequence, lending is restricted to a subset of assets and the platform is limited in terms of liquidity. So again, very well said. This is kind of like the scenario that's currently existing right now. Most people may have already realized this, but there are people who don't really realize this yet. So if you take ETH, for example, Ethereum is basically the dominant DeFi platform, and it's growing exponentially despite its high gas fees and low transaction speeds. But that has kind of like inconsequentially created projects that have the tokens only on the Ethereum blockchain, and thereby you can only use Ether to interact with those kind of dApps and access those cryptocurrencies, right? But basically Pi or P network is basically trying to solve this problem by making liquidity accessible to all the platforms, right? P tokens enable decentralized lending platform to access the liquidity of cryptocurrencies and tokens external to the blockchain they live on. This opens the doors for Bitcoin, EOS, Tezos, and Ripple, among others, to be lent and borrowed, enlarging the range of assets users can gain interest on. Again, basically, they're again trying to say the same thing that we discussed before. Decentralized exchanges. Again, I'm not going to go through this in detail, but what it basically mentions is again, decentralized exchanges are also some of the most popular used DeFi platforms, which have isolated kind of like tokens that are only available in a few decentralized exchanges but are not available in all decentralized exchanges. The two, when it comes to different blockchains, you can't really find certain tokens in some networks whatsoever. Let's say, for example, some of the only few commonly available tokens are basically USDT, USDC, some kind of like a wrapped Ethereum or a wrapped Bitcoin kind of a token, but rest of them all are completely different when it comes to Pangolin exchange, for example, that is on the Avalanche blockchain versus a pancake swap on the Binance Smart Chain blockchain, right? So basically, Pi Network is trying to solve this by preventing these kind of separate spheres from existing and thereby kind of like creating movement of tokens and liquidity between different blockchains, right? So what are the key features of P tokens? Again, instead of going too much into the purpose of P tokens, I want to go into the key features of P tokens. P tokens such as PEOS, PBTC, and many others are portable. P tokens can teleport any token to a different blockchain without any frictions, liquidity unchained. So again, if you take P tokens, when you kind of like use REN protocol, you kind of like send your Bitcoin to the REN VM, right? And REN kind of locks your Bitcoin in the Bitcoin blockchain and mints a proportional, an equivalent value of a wrapped Bitcoin on the Ethereum blockchain, thereby allowing for the Bitcoin that's been sent to the REN VM to kind of like maintain the peg of the original REN, right? So kind of like you send it to this REN virtual machine and it kind of mints an equivalent amount of the Bitcoin in Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum, right? So it's kind of the same concept for this one as well. P tokens kind of like provide portability where you can kind of like use P tokens to access the same token in different blockchains, right? Pegged, every P token is transparently pegged to its respective token. It is a trustless two-way peg, again, similar to REN, like the REN protocol. The peg is pretty much one to one for the token that is, or the crypto that's being locked in the REN VM versus the equivalent proportion of the crypto that's minted in a different blockchain for the same purpose, right? So provable, a decentralized process makes everything transparent. Anyone can peg in, peg out via the P token DApp. So again, you can kind of like use a P token DApp as a tool to lock your cryptocurrency, let's say Bitcoin, from the Bitcoin blockchain and mint an equivalent amount in Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum or some other blockchain. And these P tokens can be used for yield farming, DeFi, and so on and so forth, right? So that's basically how it works. It's basically a much slightly advanced version of a REN network, right? Is one PEOS always worth one PEOS? Again, one PEOS always worth one EOS. Yes, P tokens are pegged 1:1 with their underlying asset. This means one PEOS is always worth one EOS token, right? So they were also stating at the bottom that this rule applies to any P tokens. Again, any P tokens that are minted with respect to their parent token or parent cryptocurrency is always it always maintains a 1:1 peg directly with the parent token, right? Again, they just doing the same thing with Bitcoin. Does anyone else have a claim to my PEOS, P Bitcoin, or other P tokens? No, P tokens are owned by anyone holding them. P tokens are implemented as fungible and redeemable tokens. This means they can be freely exchanged and the underlying assets can be redeemed anytime. Again, this is a crucial point, right? So let's say you have Bitcoins that you want to use for earning some DeFi yield, right? You need to be able to trust the P network in such a way that you can basically, you know, lock your Bitcoin with P network and mint an equivalent amount of P bitcoins on the Binance Smart Chain, for example, and you should be able to comfortably do your DeFi yield farming or whatever you're planning to do with an expectation that someday in the future you will come back, return your P tokens and get back your original Bitcoin, right? That's basically the underlying principle which will have to be maintained, and it should be maintained in such a way that people should never feel that their bitcoins may not be redeemable at any point in the future, right? But in this FAQ question, they have basically answered that. They're basically stating that you will not be able to redeem your original tokens unless you provide the equivalent version of the tokens that you minted, right? So that's basically it. You will be able to redeem your tokens anytime as long as you kind of like return back the P tokens or the P versions of the tokens, right? On Ethereum, P tokens such as PEOS and PBTC are implemented as fungible ERC20 tokens, and they are compatible with any standard Ethereum wallet, DEX, or tool supporting ERC20 tokens. Again, this is pretty common for any any ERC20 token. So if you mint PBTC or PEOS on the Ethereum blockchain, they will be ERC20 versions of those tokens. So it will be wrapped versions of those original cryptocurrencies, and you can kind of store them in any Ethereum wallet, or you can use them in any DEX in the Ethereum blockchain, right? How do I get PEOS, PBTC, and other P tokens? The P tokens DApp enables anyone to issue and burn P tokens. You can find it at, so this is the DApp link. Please click on it and explore it in order to understand how it looks like. It's a pretty simple interface. We can probably look into it by the end of this video. PEOS and other P tokens are also integrated with tools built by the community, and these include MetaMask Ado. So again, you can pretty much use these kind of P tokens in your MetaMask and store them for DeFi based applications, right? So where does PEOS and PBTC, other P tokens, come from? P tokens such as PEOS or PBTC can be generated by anyone. The P token uses deposits on the relevant P token smart contract to certain amount of the underlying asset that he wishes to convert into its 1:1 pegged representation, and provides a destination address where to send the corresponding P tokens. The occurred transaction is submitted to a secure sandbox TEE where it gets validated. Leveraging the data provided by the incoming transaction, depositing the underlying asset, a set of secure sandboxes TEEs jointly creates an outgoing transaction for an equal amount of P tokens to be minted by the relevant P token smart contract on the host blockchain. So again, it's a little bit of a technical information here. So what basically happens is, when you want to make or mint P versions of your tokens, you let's say for example you have Bitcoin, you kind of use the platform to deposit your Bitcoin and provide a destination address where your P tokens need to be sent to whichever blockchain, right? And then once you send your Bitcoin goes through the secure sandbox, which is basically the location which is basically a version of the smart contract that kind of validates this transaction and holds on to your Bitcoin. And what it does is it kind of sets multiple different secure sandboxes within the smart contract in order to verify that you are the owner of the Bitcoin. And in return, once your verification is complete, you will be issued P bitcoins on the blockchain destination address of your choice, and it will be sent directly to that address, right? So again, pretty straightforward concept. There's nothing really complicated about it. How does P token P tokens tech work? The P tokens infrastructure is the combination of two cutting edge technologies, blockchain and trusted computing. So again, they basically use blockchain technology as well as trusted computing in order to make this work. I'm just going to cover through the quick headings so that I don't want to make this video too long. The P tokens approach enables the decentralized cross-chain movement of cryptocurrencies by leveraging security preserving technologies such as Intel SGX. Again, they basically are going in detail about what kind of technologies that they're using in order to ensure the peg as well as the security of their platform, right? Which assets can be issued on the P tokens, P tokens technology, which is P tokens bridge. The P token technology is very flexible. It is designed to connect any asset and any blockchain. In the first iteration, a limited number of assets will be available in their P tokens representation. Eventually, the P tokens technology will be able to support any crypto asset. Again, initially, you will have only a few assets that you can kind of like use to mint P tokens of their own version, but they are trying to expand to multiple different blockchains and multiple different cryptocurrency assets, and their long-term goal is to make everything convertible into P versions of their tokens, right? What is the difference between P tokens and alternate solutions? Again, the P tokens technology is a universal approach compatible with any asset. Not all underlying assets can currently be ported from one blockchain to another. The most advanced developments on the topics have been made to port Bitcoin and other networks. A comparison table is available in our how it works section. So again, they are trying to use P technology to the next level. Again, what's the difference between REN protocol and P network? Again, REN has very few cryptocurrencies that it kind of makes it available for Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain based blockchains, but network wants to be this go-to network that will be used by numerous people from different blockchains to mint P versions of their tokens in other blockchains, right? So they want to be this big, a bigger version of REN protocol and do the same for several different crypto assets, right? So that's basically what their goal is. Who controls P tokens? In its first iteration, the P tokens bridges are operated by Provable. That's a very weird sentence. Following a progressive decentralization approach, the governance and operations will then be shifted to network of validators. So again, it seems like the first sentence they're trying to say that initially it will be, the bridges will be kind of like operated by the developers or even provable smart contracts. I don't really know what they're trying to say in the first sentence, but it seems like they're trying to say that initially it's going to not be as decentralized as we think it is, but soon it will probably become a DAO level project where it will be run by the community or the validators, right? The P tokens bridges will be operated by the validators that will take care of validating the peg in and peg out processes via a shared effort. Okay, Provable will only serve as a technology provider. As such, it will be a founding member of the network, but it will have no control over the network itself. I think Provable is basically the parent kind of company or something, which kind of initially has a lot more control than you may think, but eventually the validators of the network will be controlling will be basically taking over, which will make it much more decentralized, right? So that's something that you need to watch out for, because not a lot of people may be interested in that. Do ptokens.io have anything in common with Fulcrum's P tokens, MakerDAO's PETH, or PEOS.1? While these projects have similar names or token prefixes, they have nothing to do with ptokens.io. RP stands for portable or pegged or provable, can be used on any blockchain to represent the given P token wrapping for a specific token. So again, they are very, very clear that the P token, like the P prefix, is not really unique to them. because if you guys know MakerDAO's p, it is also having the prefix P, but that does not mean that that project or even Fulcrum's P tokens or even PEOS.1's tokens are tokens that were generated from the P network. But if you find any form of like confusion, you can always go to P Network's website in order to access information, right? So again, I just want to cover the FAQs because that kind of like provides a detailed information on what they're planning to do. Again, if you go to their website, you can clearly see that they're trying to provide more information, but in a less daunting way. That's why I wanted to go to FAQs in order to go a bit more detail. So if you go to the CoinGecko page for P Network, this token is currently ranked 408th by market cap on CoinGecko, and it's currently trading at $2.25, and it recently had a dip of 13% in the past 24 hours. The token has a market cap of $95 million. Again, think about the fact that this token is planning to basically make every single token fully interoperable in their P versions, right? P token versions, right? For a project that aims to do such a big endeavor, $95 million in market cap is still relatively undervalued, and I do believe that this token has a high potential to go past $250 million in market cap by the end of this bull run, and it hasn't really started pumping yet, but once it does, it will be definitely pumping soon, right? If you look at the max supply, there's only 59.6 million tokens in max supply, which makes it a really scarce token. Because if you take any other token that we've recently covered with the 1 billion or $10 billion, 10 billion tokens as max supply, this token is a very rare token compared to those kind of tokens, and this token also serves a very unique purpose with its own governance, which will allow for people to decide which new token needs to be included in the P network, right? So in that regard, I do believe that this token has an extremely high chance of pumping hard, not only because of its fundamentals but also because of its tokenomics and its extremely short max supply, right? If you take the circulating supply on the other hand, there's 41.8 million tokens in circulation. I believe that the total supply is actually 76 million tokens instead of the 59 million, which I believe is the current max supply. But the actual total supply is probably 96.2 million, which is even if it's slightly higher than 52 million, I do believe that this token is still having one of the lowest max supplies out there, and the circulating supply is almost almost going to the circulating supply is almost going to match the max supply soon, which is going to cause even more scarcity and therefore significant price appreciation, right? So if we go to the charts for this token, you can clearly see that this token has been around for quite some time. The price point for this token since June 2020 was about 63 cents. It kind of like was in the downtrend, being at its all-time lows of about 30 to 35 cents, and then it started pumping early this year, and it reached all the way to $1 or $2 per token from 45 cents range, and then it kind of dipped below and then made another all-time highs. Like the all-time highs as of now is $2.98, and it kind of did that early April before coming crashing down to $1.23, and then it pumped again, and now it's kind of retracing, right? I do believe that this token will touch the $2 range, which will be a really good entry point for a token that aims to do so much. It's pretty much in the $2.25 range or $2.25 range. I do believe that it will come down further and retest the $2 range, which will be a good buy opportunity, right? If you take the Bitcoin compared to on the other hand, the chart initially starts off much differently, where the token price was 6,700 satoshis per token, reaching all-time highs of about 13,000 satoshis, 13.5 thousand satoshis per token, before crashing to its all-time lows of about 1,016 satoshis, and then early January the token started stabilizing, making some decent peaks, but not really as prominent as the previous all-time highs, but now is currently trading at 3,900 satoshis, right? Again, I do believe that this token has a high chance of crossing, going below 3,700 satoshis, which will be a really good buy opportunity, right? When it comes to the Ethereum comparative, again, the pattern is pretty similar to Bitcoin comparative. The token was initially worth 0.002 ETH and had an all-time highs of about 0.004 ETH before crashing down to an all-time low of 0.0003, and now it's about 0. Kind of 0.0006 ETH, again because ETH price is itself going up, thereby this token is kind of like plummeting down in the ETH comparative, and this is a really good buy opportunity for people who want to buy this with Ethereum, right? But for the dollar and Bitcoin comparative, I'd probably wait, because in the next week or so it probably can go a bit more lower. And if you obviously want to buy this token, please do your own research before you invest any of your money on this token, right? This token is available on Binance. You can buy it with Bitcoin or USDT, so you can kind of like expect the prices to go a little bit below, and that will be a good entry point. And you can basically use Binance, which has enormous amount of liquidity and high trading volume, to buy this token using Bitcoin or USDT. Or you can also buy it from Bitfinex, which is also a decent exchange. You can also buy it from Uniswap. Also, the Ethereum gas fees are very high, and you can also only buy it from the Ethereum. You can only trade it with Ethereum, right? You don't have a lot of options in Uniswap as well. But if you have it in Binance, I don't really know why people would choose to buy it from decentralized exchanges unless they're willing to pay the high gas fees and they are hardcore fans of decentralization, right? So what's my final verdict on this? I think that this project has a high potential. If you can see the tags, this project is also available on the Polygon network. So it's currently available in the Polygon network, Binance Smart Chain, as well as you can also get it from the Ethereum network as well. This token can also be farmed passively if you have some cake tokens by staking it in the cake syrup pool on PancakeSwap. That will be a really cool way to accumulate this token, which again, being at relatively lows, I think this is a really good point to accumulate this token before it starts pumping. And still being less than $100 million in market cap, it does have a high potential to kind of at least 10x or even 20x by the end of this bull run. The tokenomics is very strong, the value proposition is extremely good, and as more and more tokens start being added to the P network and their equivalent P tokens being minted, that will kind of drive adoption. And again, interoperability is something that everybody in the crypto ecosystem is welcoming, and this project is making interoperability happen. And that's definitely going to be something that you may want to have in your radar, right? Again, remember guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.